trickling in. Yes, we are recording. So if you want to be looking good for the camera, now's your chance. Everybody looks good who's on camera. I'm assuming Justin is in his bathrobe. That's why he's not on the screen. So we'll leave him be. But all right, Judith's gonna run our slideshow, and we have a speaker today. We've got a lot of guests, which is great. New faces, new Kiwanis year, which is exciting. For those of you who don't know, the Kiwanis year just started on October 1st. So welcome to your new Kiwanis fiscal year. And yes, we are starting off the year with a virtual meeting. Yes, Happy New Year to Kiwanis, which also means that your dues are due. So if you can pay your dues, we can start the new year in the black, and that would be great because it's nice to get all that in before we get going, and then Judith doesn't have to chase you down later in the year. So I know we have some guests. I know we're going to have our speaker introduced in just a moment, but do we have any other guests or new Kiwanians that would like to say hello to the group that we've only maybe seen a couple of times? I know I've met a few of the newer members on this call briefly, like Lance. I met you at the I think it was the last breakfast we had of the year, but nice to see you. Is this your first virtual meeting, or have you been attending the virtual luncheons too?
I've been attending them. Mm-hmm.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, we love Zoom.
And this is Sherry. I'm new. I just found my Zoom light.
Oh, fancy. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was working full time during the pandemic. Now I'm retired, but so finding things.
Yeah. Well, it's the first meeting of the year. We're all getting acquainted, but nice to have you in the club and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Steve, super excited for your year.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, really great stuff in store, I know.
Yeah. And I'm sure Mike is full of joy because he is now off the past, he's the past president. So he has diminished his duties, which is probably a relief, right, Mike?
Always here for you, Steve.
Awesome.
Don't fear.
Excellent. Okay, well, we still got some people joining. Awesome. Lauren's joining. We got Star Pal, which must be Claire. Hope she's doing well. And we'll just get right into it. Gordon is going to introduce our speaker. So I am going to go on mute and turn it over to Mr. newly retired Gordon Borner, who is also the new foundation president. So welcome, Gordon, in your first duties as foundation president, introducing our speaker to the club.
There you go. Foundation president round 2. Hey, I should make a brief comment, though, that for our new members, Lance and Sherry, shout out to them. Lance has already attended the San Diego High School presentation in front of the Key Club representing the club. And Sherry was at Balboa Park early AM, first one to arrive for our prior community service event. So shout out to our new members already being engaged. My one other comment would be, a la the Mike Boland de minimis, I think we're still counting on Mr. Boland to be part of that San Diego High School connection with our advisor, Evie Jones, right, Mike?
You're absolutely correct, Gordon. Thank you for saying, and on community service. So definitely looking forward to that. And we'll see you at the Miracle Mile of Quarters.
There you go. Excellent. Well, I am honored and privileged today to be able to introduce somebody who I have known for decades now. And I'm going to start with where he's from. He's not a native San Diegan. He's from Chicago. Went to University of Wyoming, so he immersed himself into the Mountain West Conference, if you will. But then he made the big decision to come to San Diego State to get his master's degree. I've had the benefit of watching him after he went to work for the city in the Park and Rec department, basically be an incredible vertical career testimonial, if you will, after he spent 20 plus years progressing all the way from a starting position to where he sits now, which is director of the city's entire Park and Rec department. And for those of you that don't know, San Diego, as Andy will reinforce even further, is the third largest municipal park system in the entire United States of America, with over 400 parks, including 60 rec centers. Everybody thinks about that. They don't think about 13 miles of beaches and 23 dog off-leash parks, skateboard parks, golf complexes, including Torrey Pines, and even a couple of cemeteries, if you can believe that. But Andy's always been incredibly responsive to the community planning groups, which, as many of you know, I've been a longtime member of in Scripps Ranch. And that's the reason that he was able to move himself up into the spot that he's in. True servant leader, customer responsive, which isn't always the case in public sector, but he's built that. And I really appreciate that. And with that, no further ado, let me introduce Andy Field.
Oh, well, thank you, Gordon. It's so nice to see everybody today. And I don't even know if you even have to do a presentation. Gordon, you did it all for me. That was great. Yeah, just joking. But I did want to share with you, when I grew up in Chicago area, I actually was in the Key Club. I served as the secretary of the Key Club for my junior and senior years of high school. So even went to a Key Club convention in Greater Chicago. So it was a great experience, one that I treasure, and one that actually helped me with public speaking. So it was a really good opportunity. I'm so glad to hear that there's Key Club activity still here in San Diego, and I hope many young people avail themselves of the opportunity. It's really a good one. So I do want to share with you a little PowerPoint presentation. I know we don't have a ton of time, but I'll try to get us a little bit of an overview of the park system, and then hopefully allow myself some time at the end for some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and pop up this PowerPoint for you. And hopefully everybody can see that. So I'm pleased to present to you the City of San Diego Parks and Recreation Department. As Gordon mentioned, we are the third largest municipal system anywhere in the country. I believe Jacksonville and Anchorage, Alaska are a little bit larger, and that's primarily because Jacksonville has a lot of swamp and Anchorage has a lot of mountains. I want to show you some highlights of our beautiful park system. This is sort of the highlights reel up here in the front of the PowerPoint. As part of our crown jewels, Balboa Park continues to stun and amaze. We see incredible visitation from all over the world to visit the many treasures of Balboa Park. This view here is looking from just above the Cabrillo Bridge towards the Plaza de Panama, and then onwards on a beautiful morning. Also within our park system is Torrey Pines Golf Course. This is on the north course, and you're looking towards the south, towards Point La Jolla. And you can see here just the incredible conditions that pros come to play and San Diegans come to play every day. It's the home of the Farmers Insurance Open. And in 2021, we hosted the 121st US Open. This view of another of our crown jewels is Mission Bay Park. Looking to the northwest, you can see Crystal Pier in the background. And this is taken from around Dana Landing. Such a beautiful place with an amazing array of water-based activities. And we're really proud to be able to offer this for some of the most incredible water-based recreation that you can find anywhere in the world. We are big. We have a lot of size in terms of acreage, almost 43,000 acres. We span the length of the city of San Diego, which goes from San Ysidro at the international border all the way to Rancho Bernardo along the Interstate 15 corridor. Also, Mount Woodson, which is just outside the city limits, is also within our purview, all the way west to Mission Bay. Of the 43,000 acres, about 9,000 acres are developed acres, which means that those are parks that have recreation centers, pools, ball fields, joint use facilities, etc. And then another 27,000 acres are open space acres. And wouldn't you know it, we have water-based park acreage, especially in Mission Bay and in the area of La Jolla Canyon. We have over 400 parks. Many of those are community and neighborhood parks scattered throughout San Diego. And also we have a multitude of facilities with 60 recreation centers, 23 off-leash dog parks, 14 and soon to be 15 permanent swimming pools, 3 golf complexes, and a variety of other amenities. We also oversee 13 miles of oceanfront shoreline, another 13 miles of bayfront shoreline, and Crystal Pier and Ocean Beach Pier. Some of the open space areas that are part of our portfolio include the very well-regarded and treasured Mission Trails, which is part of our crown jewels. It includes Coles Mountain, the newly created West Sycamore area, also includes Kumeyaay Lakes and the Mission Trails Visitor Center. A couple of years ago, we also opened up the new East Fortuna staging area. But that's not all. We have open space throughout the city, extending north towards Black Mountain, in the central area for places like Tecolote, the Choyas Creek watershed, San Diego River, Rose Canyon, even Mission Valley Preserve, and then a number of canyons that are scattered throughout the city. Another very treasured area is Otay Valley Regional Park, located near the Otay Nestor community where it abuts the city of Chula Vista, a growing area where we anticipate seeing additional acres added to the 2,000 acres you see here on the slide. We have a number of visitors. Because of the popularity of the beaches, combined with the popularity of Balboa Park, Torrey Pines Golf Course, Mission Bay, and Mission Trails, we see over 50 million estimated visitors. That includes 310,000 users of our swimming pools, 300,000 rounds of golf annually, over 128,000 hours of operation at our recreation centers, 20,000 older adults served, 50,000 people with disabilities served, and we are the department with the highest use of volunteers anywhere in the city of San Diego. Some of the recreation programs to highlight for you include Come Play Outside, Parks After Dark. We did these programs in summer of 2023, but because we don't have our numbers tabulated yet, I did want to share with you some of the numbers that came from last year's program in 2022. And I can tell you some of the early numbers we see for 2023 suggest that our enrollment is likely to be doubled for these programs. And we're also conducting surveying, and we'll have some survey results soon regarding satisfaction and also likelihood to return for a future program. Now, here's an organization chart. I won't dwell on this too much, but we do work for you. We work for San Diego. We then in turn work for the mayor, and below the mayor, we are one of the executive branch departments that have operations assigned to us. We have currently 8 divisions. Half of the divisions are related to maintenance, golf operations, and Balboa, Mission Bay, and the beaches. And the other half is for recreation services, the community parks and neighborhood parks, as well as administrative services. And these boxes here show you some of the functions that occur beneath each of these different divisions. I won't spend a lot of time dwelling on it, but suffice to say, we do have a lot to do. The same is true with this next series of boxes. And probably one thing that's notable of these is that we did recently create a maintenance division. Interestingly enough, historically, due to budget reductions and things like that, we had merged park maintenance, especially in community parks, to be under our recreational program administration. We are now working to separate those functions with the goal of improving park maintenance and also elevating service levels. So as we continue to get additional resources, which we do request annually through the budget process, we do try to seek funds to be able to heighten our service level and to bring bigger benefit, more cleanliness, better programs to the community. This chart shows you the adopted budget for the current fiscal year that we're in. It began on June 1st of 2023, and I'm sorry, July 1st of 2023, and will end on June 30th of 2024. This budget you see here shows the entire department, inclusive of the general fund and also the golf enterprise fund, plus a few smaller funds. All told, we expend around $229 million a year to serve our park system. We also generate some revenues. You may see that $104 million and think, geez, Parks and Rec, you spend or receive a lot of money on user fees. I would say no, most of this is actually money that comes from places like hotel taxes and the San Diego Gas and Electric franchise fee, whereas fees that we charge are actually a fairly small proportion of what we do. What that means is that we are not a cost recoverable operation by any stretch of the words. We do have to rely on the general fund and on those contributing funds to be able to effectuate what we do. This next chart, which is, yes, I'm sorry, more numbers, but I'll be very quick about this as well, will show you our general fund budget. These are the funds that compete with the police, the fire department, pothole filling for the transportation department, and all the rest of the general government services that are offered by the city. And of that, we are offered $178 million to run the recreation centers, run the beaches, Balboa Park, Mission Bay, etc. And it takes us a little over 1,000 full-time equivalent people to do that. The Golf Enterprise Fund costs around $25 million a year. It turns out that we actually take in a little bit more than that every year in greens fees and other event revenue, which enables us to be able to start saving up for some capital projects in the golf world. Principal among them that we're planning for right now is a complete renovation and of the Torrey Pines clubhouse area, including construction of a new clubhouse, upgrade of the maintenance facilities, and creation of a new putting green. The golf operations requires around 120 full-time equivalent staff to effectuate what they do. We have a number of key performance indicators that we refer to help illustrate satisfaction and the level of work that's put forward by the department. We have a survey that's handed out every summer at our recreation centers. That survey has resulted in 89% satisfaction over this previous year. We have also seen a almost meeting the goal of our brush management program. We are required to thin several hundred acres each year, and we came close to meeting that mark, but didn't quite reach it. And part of that is because brush management is such a high demand service. We've also had a number of locations that are not part of the program that we've also had to thin. We are interested in establishing more restored open space areas. So we're very happy to see an increase in the number of acres where natural habitat has been replacing weed-infested sections of our open space system to comply with regulations and to improve against our climate action plan. Our online registration system has also seen a number of quite a bit of increased participation, which is good. We view that as a metric as to whether people find our online registration to be accessible and to be easy to use. We look at the satisfaction rating for the recreational programs we offer, and that same over-the-counter survey revealed 90% satisfaction with that. We had around 158,000 aquatic users last year and operated about 172,000 hours worth of programming at our recreation centers. This results in a ratio of around 32.5 acres per 1,000 population for our park system. That includes open space acres as well as developed park acres. Last year, we created a tactical equity plan. While we've long had a mission and a vision statement involving our desire to connect everyone to our park system and to provide healthy, sustainable, and enriching environments for everyone, we also wanted to establish goals and objectives that reflect maintenance, cleanliness, safety, enjoyability, fulfilling, and programming. And that captures our first two goals that are listed here. We also wanted to make clear that we can't offer these things without highly motivated and happy, high morale employees. So we center an entire goal just around building up our workforce, as well as focusing on diversity, equitability, and inclusion so that our employees and the public know that we are there for everyone, not for a select few. The Climate Action Plan also remains a major component of everything the city's doing to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So there's a number of elements that take place here in the park system, including our ongoing efforts to manage our natural resources, preserve and restore various sections of the open space system, and plant more trees. We have a number of accomplishments I wanted to call everyone's attention to, but with any accomplishment, there still is much more work to do. We are building up our age well services. For many years, we've seen our services for older adults really not be quite as global or as have as much opportunity as we see with some of our youth-oriented sites. So we are gradually building a bigger network in that area. And we just reopened the Kathy Hopper Friendship Center in Claremont as an example of that. We also opened one in San Ysidro as well. We recently acquired the responsibility for managing the city's animal services contracts. So yes, we are the overseers of the San Diego Humane Society contract and are involved in things like making sure that pets are cared for, address pet adoption, vaccination, leash law enforcement, etc. In Balboa Park, we have the Botanical Building renovation. If you haven't seen it, recommend you take a stop by and see its progress. We expect that by the middle of next year, we should have it complete and ready for opening. We've been working on a number of things in the coastal area and in partnership with the Coastal Commission involving things like sea lions in Point La Jolla, which recently made the news with a year-round closure voted in by the City Council, as well as working on closing some coastal parking lots overnight. We're very proud of the Come Play Outside program, which focuses events and activities in communities of concern that have been historically disadvantaged and may not have seen the high level of activation that exists in other locations in the city. We're developing a better low-income fee waiver and also implemented the Opportunity Fund, which has a small surcharge on fees that are paid to allow those monies to be deployed in communities that are historically disadvantaged. We're working to get further into Get It Done implementation. So when you go in there now, you won't see parks on the drop-down menu, but we're working to get ourselves in there. So you should see more on that in the year to come. I already mentioned the many things going on at the golf area. What many of you may not know is that the city has been very much benefited from both federal and state earmarks directed towards the park system. We're currently overseeing over $113 million worth of grants, primarily for construction projects, but some of them are for programs. One of the biggest pieces was a combined $13.5 million for the construction of Bayer Community Park in the San Ysidro community. We're very, very excited and pleased to see that. We have a number of parks that have recently opened. We have a number more that are still to come. We're growing our park ranger program and expanding their role into the community parks, a place where park rangers have not historically been. We only have 65 of them, so we're still growing in this arena, but please be aware because you may see more of them in the future. And what their goal is to offer interpretation, education, and also to assist with questions people have about permits, how to properly use a park space, etc. The city's Parks Master Plan is another major accomplishment from 2021, but there is much work to do to fulfill the recommendations. That includes the creation of a master plan for the recently designated Chollas Creek Regional Park, the creation of a design assistance committee for park capital projects, the introduction of marketing and social media for our park programs, development of a needs assessment focusing on those historically disadvantaged communities. I mentioned the Opportunity Fund, which is based on the surcharge fee that is also directed to those historically disadvantaged communities, the creation of a citywide park development impact fee, and the development of recreation value points system, which enables us to look at other factors besides acreage to determine if a park is actually benefiting a community. As we all know, there is no more land being made, and during a housing crisis, it's very hard to request more acres to add into the park system. But these recreation value points allow for heightened use of the parks to bring in more activities, more sports, more cultural programming, etc., that can help influence the utility of that park for the community. We're very proud of a number of partnerships that we've established. Chief among them is the San Diego Parks Foundation and Price Philanthropies. They have both been instrumental in coordinating the Parks After Dark events that happen in the summertime. We've also worked extensively with other organizations such as Casa Familiar with some of the various activations that we've done in the South Bay. We are also working on recruitment and retention. Along with everyone else, we went through a major impact during the Great Resignation. We lost about a third of our workforce during that time. And when you have that much turnover, that muscle memory that kind of relates to how you do your job and being able to train and mentor people upwards started to lack. So we made it a conscious effort to be more intentional about recruitment, having job fairs, building a new internship program that's known as the Park Ambassador Program in partnership with the San Diego Parks Foundation. We've been working on pay and benefit increases and also working with our labor unions to help advocate for the best possible employee conditions. And that means also expanding rewards. So we make it intentional that we want to have like employee of the quarter, employee of the year, offer cash payments to those that are really excelling and doing meritorious work, and bringing together folks for lunches and things like that. The legacy of the pandemic is that people have kind of gotten used over a period of time to being alone, and we really want to build back that teamwork and esprit de corps. While we're not at a place yet where we have full staffing, right now we still have around 200 to 230 vacancies in our department, which is a pretty big number against the 1,000+ employees that we have. We are working hard to fill those positions, and one of the biggest challenges, frankly, are the entry-level jobs. We're struggling with trying to get interest in our careers and struggling to get as much as possible people aware that the city is a viable, good employer. Another area of interest is therapeutic recreation services. We just opened a demonstration garden at the Park de la Cruz Community Center in City Heights. If you have a chance, I'd recommend you stop by and visit. It is really one of the crown jewels of our system, and also is an up-and-comer because this is a program that really didn't have a home, and now that it does, is growing quite a bit. They offer inclusion services to those with disabilities so we can have dances and art classes and different kinds of sports events that are geared towards those that have various disabilities. It's a really rewarding and incredible program. Mission Trails Regional Park has a new master plan, and we're working hard to expand it by buying parcels in the East Elliott area, which is north of State Route 52, east of the military base, and to the west of Santee. And in Mission Bay Park, if you visited lately, you may have seen new playgrounds put in place in the Bonita Cove area and also Tecolote Shores. Bonita Cove is right across the street from the roller coaster at Mission Beach, Belmont Park, and then the Tecolote playground is located right off Interstate 5 near the SeaWorld Drive Tecolote Road exit. If you have a chance to visit, those are some of the newest and most avant-garde pieces of equipment that we have for playgrounds, and you're going to see the Tecolote South playground open very soon, which will also be all the latest. And if you have kids, well, I hope that you get a chance to go visit. We have a number of initiatives that are underway in addition to all those accomplishments. I won't get into much detail on here, but just to say that we've got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do in Balboa Park. We have a lot of work to do with a number of older infrastructure areas, such as access points to the ocean, addressing issues with the aging seawall and bulkhead. And even in the golf operations, we have a number of things that are aging there as well that need replacement. We have a number of projects underway to build more parks. So I'm very proud of the robust program that we have. One of the key partnerships here is with the San Diego Unified School District. As you may be aware, they have a number of propositions that have been voted on by the public in the interest of building improvements to campuses. One of the side benefits of that program is that it can also put in new turf fields in locations that didn't have them previously. We're proud to partner with the school district. We have a number of policies and procedures that are underway. We're working hard to get pickleball added in. Pickleball is especially challenging because there are a number of concerns related to noise and proximity to adjacent communities. And we also know that there are challenges with having pickleball and tennis be in the same location. But we've been engaged with both groups and are hopeful for the construction of more pickleball locations, while at the same time allowing our friends in the tennis community to be able to offer tennis as well. Both sports have been exploding in activity and use ever since the pandemic began. And this is a couple more pictures of some of the things that our staff do. I'm really proud of the fact that our team is just so incredibly versed and really likes to work for the community and be out in it. And these are many of the pictures that show what we do. So that concludes my presentation, and I really appreciate the time. Happy to take any questions you might have. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Who's got questions? Well, he's still with us.
Well, the first one that comes to mind, Steve, if I may, volunteerism. I saw that. And I have to confess, I thought city, big budget, has lots of individuals who clean up parks and do all sorts of projects, but it's clear that Andy's got a larger plate to accomplish than maybe what he has staff for. So Andy, what kind of volunteer opportunities are there?
I'm so glad you asked. As I mentioned, we have a very large volunteer base, but even with that, we still could use a lot more volunteers. To be very clear, we can't do what we do without volunteers. It's plain and simple as that. And the reason is because, number one, we don't have enough staff to provide the level of service that I know everyone would like to see in our park system. And that extends to maintenance, it extends to recreation programming. It even extends into areas where we have the need for just simple advocacy of what the park system needs. And many of you I see here on the call I've worked with before, and I know that there is a lot of interest in continuing to push forward and help the park system along. But there really does need to be that focus on our partners out in the community. So like, for example, I Love a Clean San Diego comes and does an amazing job corralling an enormous number of volunteers across the region to clean not just the beaches in the Bay areas, but to go inland to canyons that may not be front of mind and say, hey, this area needs some help and support. We've also seen a number of volunteers that have been extremely interested in working with us on, like, for example, when I talked about the work of the Age Well services for older adults, many people love to work with older adults on things like karaoke, art classes, things like that, without an expectation of compensation. They would just like to be able to serve and to give back. Without that help, though, we couldn't do what we do. To become a volunteer, we have a webpage for that. It's on sandiego.gov. And I believe you just type in the word volunteer after San Diego, you put in sandiego.gov/volunteer, and that will get you to the information page about it. But it's not the only way to volunteer. Even when you volunteer for one of our nonprofit partners, like I see Claire's here from Star Pal, and I see Steve from I Love a Clean San Diego. If you volunteer for them, that helps us too. We don't necessarily need you to city volunteer. You can volunteer with our partner nonprofits and achieve an awful lot of good for the park.
Good to know. Thank you, Andy.
I had a quick
Hey, Andy?
question.
Oh.
Can you hear me okay? Excellent, excellent. Andy, thank you. As a third generation San Diegan, we are so proud of our parks, and I'm often on Mission Bay in my sea kayak pulling plastic out. Every time we're out, we're pulling plastic out of the water, and it always finds its way down out the river, out to Sunset Cliffs. It's pretty remarkable now. We see a lot of microplastics out there that we didn't see growing up in the 80s. So there's a lot of work to be done, and absolutely, we're here to support you and volunteer where we can. And you mentioned something about your hiring needs, especially for entry-level positions. And we have 9 community colleges here in our region, and we're highly collaborative. So I'm curious, what can we do to help you?
Lance, I'm so glad you offered. We have a need to get into both high schools and community colleges. We've been successful in connecting that up with San Diego Unified. We still need to work with Poway Unified, and I would love to work with the community college district as well. We have been working with Dr. Shabazz at City College on like a more localized basis. and maybe we can extend some of that to Miramar. To be frank with you, our biggest challenge is getting recreational entry-level staff for our centers on the 56 corridor. And that is a perplexing problem, in part because we can't seem to get people from those communities on 56 to be aware of us as a viable employer. And then also we're struggling because many who do end up being recreation aides and leaders don't want to drive northbound to be able to provide the services, because the hourly rate versus the high price of gas makes it a tough commute. So we're looking for people that live in the 56 corridor, and Miramar College would be a great location to start that. So I would love to meet with you offline to talk further about recruitment opportunities at the college level.
Sounds great. We have an opportunity to come to campus on October the 18th. And I also have colleagues at Palomar and Miracosta who can definitely help. So I'll put my email in the chat, I guess, or I know, oh, there we go. Perfect.
I
Thank
can,
you,
I
Andy.
can
Just send mine
connect
in
you
there.
guys, Andy and Lance. I'll connect you after the call.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, who's going next?
I have
Me?
a question.
Go ahead, Sherry, and then
Okay,
Jay
I got
after
it.
Sherry, go ahead, Sherry.
Okay. I am a part of the San Diego Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERT. And 2 weeks ago, I discovered something else that the Parks Department does, because I was in training for emergency shelter setup. And half of my class was CERT volunteers. I'm a volunteer for San Diego for the CERT program. The other half was Parks and Rec, Recreation Center, people who run those. So I was surprised, but not, because that made sense, that have all these recreation buildings that also can double as emergency services. And I found out that the Parks and Rec employees are also disaster service workers. So, I mean, can you expound on that a little bit? Or do you know about that?
Absolutely. Probably the best disaster to describe where that role kicks in is with the recent COVID-19 pandemic.
Mhm.
We were all assigned the role of running Operation Shelter to Home, which transitioned into the convention center for an extended period of time through 2020 and 2021. During that effort, the goal was to get people into clean and safe locations with access to sanitation. One of the lessons learned from the hepatitis A outbreak that happened in 2007, which we were also, or sorry, 2017, which we were also required to serve as and assist with that effort, was that access to sanitized facilities really reduces the spread rate of these infectious diseases. So we were able to work in partnership to help get those experiencing homelessness into a place where they can have the ability to be clean, access sinks, toilets, all that stuff, a clean bed. And also it enabled us to help them to get access to vaccinations once those are ready. And then we ended up working on conducting vaccination clinics. And those clinics were conducted in part at like Municipal Gym in Balboa Park and other locations. So when the call comes in, we do that. A more recent example is Tropical Storm Hillary, which kind of came and went. And when that happened, we found ourselves trying to help locate bags for sandbag placement by residents in flood-prone areas. And we also worked to develop locations where residents could shelter if needed, if the storm got to that level.
Right.
We set one up. We didn't need it ultimately because it became just a really large rain event, but not one that resulted in widespread flooding. So we're very, very pleased with to be able to provide that service. A great number of our staff are first aid and CPR certified. And you'll find that with all of our swimming pool folks, our pool guards, pool managers, aquatic specialists, etc. And many of them are involved in training on first aid and CPR. I'm not too sure if that's the if that part of it came out during the training you attended, but we do have a number of people that do that kind of work, and we're very eager to share that because the life saving of CPR is unparalleled.
Mhm.
And we have a number of instances where we've deployed an automatic external defibrillator, or we have conducted CPR and saved lives.
Mhm.
And I'm proud to report to you that we had at least 2 that were saved over the past year.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the Kathy Hopper reopening. I have the little guide here, and I'm probably going to go catch a free movie here next month.
Please do. Please do. We're really, really excited to get that center back up and running.
Uh-huh. Yep. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I just want to thank Andy for inviting one to see the great progress at the Botanical building. It is going to be literally restored to its early 1900 grandeur. A tremendous partnership between Forever Balboa Park, Parks and Rec, and the city of San Diego. Great, great, great. But just in case many of you have money burning your hole in your pockets, there are going to be great naming opportunities, from benches to all kinds of very exciting things. So that's another aspect of what is going on at Balboa Park and the Botanical Gardens.
I appreciate that. That's a great one to bring up. And the partnership with Forever Balboa Park, another key partner for us, is great. And we're really excited to see the Botanical building get done. There will be the mid-2024 date that I shared will be the completion of the interior of the building. And then Forever Balboa Park is going to be restoring the gardens and also looking at pergola and some other improvements on the exterior, and also just kind of doing a lot to elevate the overall presence of the Botanical building. So we're very excited to see that move forward. So thank you for that acknowledgement.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I think maybe we
Mine's
wrap
just-
it up
mine's
there. Oh,
just
we
a
have a
thank
question
you.
from Claire. Go ahead, Claire.
It's just a thank you. And Scotty is here with me and working from home today, but we got to play at the park at Colina del Sol, and just wanted to thank Andy for all the work that the staff do, especially at all the rec centers, but Colina del Sol in particular, just being able to have it be really a family place. It was fun playing with so many other different families, out. Scotty agrees, at the site, and just all of the programs that you're offering specifically to the youth are just amazing. So thank you for all that you're doing, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, let's give a round of applause to Andy. Thanks for spending some time with us and that great presentation. And
Thank you all very much. Appreciate you all.
what you do. Yeah, thanks, Andy. And you're welcome to stick around, but if you need to move on, that's fine. A little bit of club business here at the end of the meeting. So I'll turn it back over to Judith to take through our next set of slides. And oh, did I mention October getting in the black? With this many birthdays, we're definitely going to start the year off in the black, because you know what, I'll leave it to Gordon to explain, if you're new to the club, what the tradition is, since he is the first birthday listed here. Gordon, what's traditionally done on your birthday month for the club?
Well, so depending on where you are in your life stage, depending on whether you're wealth accumulated or wealth accumulating, those that have wealth accumulated typically donate Bill's bucks equivalent to their age. So I'll start with my 68th birthday and throw in a $68 invoice my way. And I'll also mention what an incredible Libra Hall of Fame we've got here in this club, huh? October, is this the biggest month of the entire year? Wow.
I mean, it has to be close if it's not the number one, but you failed to mention it's not only years of life, but it's years of life plus your years in the club. So
I have heard that rumor, and that means I'm going to have to throw 68 plus 31, 32. I think that puts me right at 100. So
there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Triple digits for the wealth accumulated that are in that life state.
But see, now you're on a fixed income, Gordon, so we understand if you need to do it in payments and everything.
That's right. Retired should get a discount, but I'm not taking a discount. I'll let Susan decide on that because she comes next, right?
That's right. Yeah, we got a lot of birthday people on the call. We got Susan Day here. I know we got Jay on the call. I mean, we got some heavy hitters in October.
Well, I'll tell you what, I need some math help, but I'm happy to donate on October 16th when I turn 78. You can believe that. And then I've been in Kiwanis since 1976. So if someone can add up those years together, I will make a donation to the foundation appropriately.
My banker hat says that's 117, Jay.
117?
Yep.
Okay, that's the deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say it added up to 250, Gordon, but you stole my
Math's not his strong suit.
exactly. Awesome. Well, we'll have to sing to everyone at the October 17th luncheon, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But happy birthday to everyone on this list. It's a great list. Almost every day in October is covered, at least the first 20 days. And even the old double on October 16th. So that's a good one too. And sliding right into what Gordon mentioned, Bills Bucks. So we have a couple more opportunities here to help us get in the early black of the year. Opportunities to give Bills Bucks. You got good stuff going on in your life, happy or sad. Obviously, sometimes we got some sad news to share. And then I know we have some fines. Some people who are in the news maybe showed up to an event and weren't wearing their pin. So I don't know if anybody wants to self-select out, but leave the floor open now for some Bills, Bucks, and some fines.
Steve, I'll go for some happy dollars. Just to do a little recap, had the opportunity to accompany my wife and join my mom and my sisters and my brother-in-law in Gay Paris, which was fantastic. Happy to report my mother, who's turns 90 in November, did fantastic. We shared our time with the Mission de Alcala church choir and attended several services and choir performances throughout France with them. And my wife and I were engaged in Paris some 25 years ago. So I shared that with Doug Frost. He too was engaged in Paris. So thank you all for holding down the fort while I was gone. And I know that I missed a couple of events, $25.
Is that
How many dollars did you say, Mike?
I just upped it to 25. It just felt like 25
right.
years of, marriage, 25 years of.
You got it.
Do you want us to bill you in euros there, Mike? Because you may have some leftover.
It's almost on par. I do have €5. So if you want, I'll contribute €5 and $20. I won't complicate things. We'll stay with US currency.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will be gone on the meeting of the 17th, but I'll pay a little fine for that. Got a very, very fun trip coming up. Some of you may know that the San Diego Symphony is playing at Carnegie Hall for the first time in 10 years. And 10 years ago, they celebrated the great founder of Qualcomm, Irwin Jacobs' 80th birthday, and actually at Carnegie Hall sang happy birthday to him. This year, on coming up the weekend of that, the 17th comes on, the 16th, is that it's going to be his 90th birthday, and the first time that the San Diego Symphony has returned to play at Carnegie Hall. And so that's very exciting, but I will be there, not for that, but the next couple of days with the, I thought I lost my sound, with the Old Globe. They've got a theater trip for a week. So we'll see 4 or 5 plays, a bunch of museums, and La Jolla Playhouse is also doing a event there. So it's going to be a big theater week. And let me throw in another $50 on top of whatever I'm giving for the birthday on October 16th for that. Happy bucks.
Wow, incredible, Jay. And if you're newer to the club and don't know Jay well, we all want him to start a travel blog so we can follow the amazing places and performances that Jay is visiting, because he's basically Mr. San Diego times 10 with all these amazing experiences. So that's awesome, Jay. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Who else for bills or fines? Go ahead, Karina.
Okay, well, I'll find myself because I thought I lost my badge, and mind you, I have 2 of them, so it's ridiculous that I thought I lost it. And I was looking for it because I wanted to wear it to the San Diego Downtown Partnership Rediscover Downtown event that we sponsored me to go. And it was my first event with the partnership. Was great. Monica Ball was there, of course, being a social butterfly. Ran into our member Todd Miller, which was great. Ran into potential Miller Tracy Knight, which was awesome. So it was a really great event. But I had wished that I had on my badge, but I did have my pin. So I won't find myself too hard because I at least had that and mixed and mingled, educated a lot of people on what Kiwanis is and tried to, kind of disregard preconceived notions that people have about Kiwanis, told them, we're thriving, and really proud of ourselves for adding in 13 new members last year. So definitely want to pay $20 for finding myself and for all of the new members, and just congrats to the membership team because it's great. And I think we're already, actually, I know we're already on the plus to start off Steve's year, potentially +2 already. So we'll have more really fun news to share. But yeah, we're doing great. And Steve, with you on board to follow up Susan, I'm really excited, and just again loved our closeout event. Wanted to give a shout out to Vic, who came in his judge attire, and really made it a fun celebration. So thank you again to everyone that showed up at the University Club, and really excited to see everyone on the 17th. And I'll have really big news where, Steve, you can majorly find me, but you'll have to come to the luncheon to find out.
And let me double down Karina's 20. You can add 20 more to my invoice for thank you to Karina for attending our first Downtown San Diego Partnership post becoming a member formally of the Downtown San Diego Partnership, recommitting ourselves to being part of Downtown San Diego, in addition to being Kiwanis for all of San Diego. So throw another 20 on that, Judith, for my invoice.
Well, Gordon, I forgot that you owe some fines. I mean, your pockets are going to be empty by the end of this meeting. I don't know if you want to wait until the 17th, but you had a big celebration that we never fined you for. And I think you were featured in a magazine that we never fined you for. So
we might have to hold off for cash flow purposes. We might want to wait 17th for that one. How's that?
All right. TBD.
Karina, he's recently retired. We got to ease into this. He's got to have money for groceries and utilities and rent.
You made me your fine master. I'm trying to help you out with, getting that fine and the green for you. So, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's just waiting for the 17th to happen.
Awesome. Any more happy, sad, or fines? And if you sneak through this meeting, we'll get you on the 17th. Oh, Susan's got one.
Well, I'm just going to throw in a 20 just to kick off your new year, Steve. Thank you so much for taking on the role as president. And I'm so excited to stay in the wings and help you in any way I can. But I'll throw that 20 in with my birthday fine, sending it your way, Judith. I'll put the check in the mail.
Excellent. Awesome. Thanks, Susan. All right. Well, if you sneak through this meeting without a fine or a happy or sad, we'll get you on the 17th. Quick recap. So this goes all the way back to August, since we haven't had a luncheon in September. We had a lot going on. Obviously, we had our usual routine of networking and meetings and philanthropy. So we had the event right there in Mission Bay, I guess, would you call it, where that happy hour was? Yep. And then we had our last breakfast meeting at Park and Market downtown. Look at all those new members being indoctrinated in with their certificates there. What a great class. In the back of Joe Sigurdsson's head there as well. Great photo. And then we had our star ballot. Claire, do you want to mention anything about that since you're on the call today, the event on the 19th?
I'd love to. We had such a great time. Thank you to all the Kiwanians who came out to help. We were able to give away 450 backpacks to students and families who needed them to start off the school year. And the Kiwanis was really in charge of the book distribution. So every student got to come over and pick out a book that they wanted to take, or a few, I think, Gordon. I think some had their interest piqued by several books, but that was just an amazing part. It was customized, age appropriate, and that was all thanks to Gordon and our new member as well to formulating that. And in the picture is Adam Garvey with corrections, and he is one of the officers who has that passion for the kids. And Gordon did more of the heavy lifting than I did. We just received the benefits of everyone's work and helping that. But if Gordon wanted to speak to it too, and he probably could tell the better stories than I can.
Only thing I would add is we sold out on books, and
Yes.
shout out our two new members, Karen and also Tyler. First community service event he had made it to, so it was awesome. And I also know that Adam Garvey from Corrections has agreed to come and be a potential future speaker for us at a future club. He's got some interesting stories to tell about some of the inmates down at his world at Donovan.
Thank you.
That's great, Gordon, because we definitely have some members in the club that could use some corrections as well. So maybe we can coordinate that with the luncheon. Nothing major, just scare people a little bit, but that's awesome. And then in September, we had obviously more amazing events. For those of you who made it out to, and Gordon, if you want to speak again, because you are the philanthropy chair, basically showing up to all of our give backs. You want to say anything about the SOSL walk? Because I know Lauren left the call early. Sorry, because she just left the call early.
Yeah, I mean, again, shout out to Sherry, because Sherry was the first one on the scene at the break of dawn in front of all of us. But Lauren Cook did an amazing job. Karina actually was in the photography booth for the day. Lauren was up on stage and really negotiated and navigated a great event, even though the porta potties didn't show up in time, and she really had to kick into a managerial mode to get that to happen. And we all got to hold the signs and help direct people for what was a somewhat somber event, obviously, for a lot of people for obvious reasons that are impacted by suicide. But it's a real event, and it was a really uplifting event to see the congregation of people, including some of them wearing shirts for their family members and stuff like that. So again, kudos to Lauren Cook, kudos to Sherry for first in, kudos to Ashley was there. It was just a fun event.
Yeah, just on that, also, we can't find Lauren because she did mention Kiwanis in her speech on stage. So that was great to get a shout out in front of a lot of people. And the other really great thing was that they had over 100 high school students show up to volunteer. So that's why I got a really nice, easy job, because we just had such an incredible turnout, which shows just how impactful mental health is. So it was really inspiring to me to see so many kids wake up really early on a Sunday. It was like partially misting, and still come up and show up and bring a lot of positive energy to, not so uplifting day. But I really enjoyed it and highly recommend. I have not been affected by it, thankfully, in my life, but I was still very moved by the experience. So they're doing great work, and it's so needed in this climate. So it was a great opportunity, and Emily brought her kids out, which was awesome. So it was a great day.
That's right. Emily brought next generation Kiwanians out early morning, and they participated throughout the day. That was awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, guys. And I know we're right at time, minute over, so I'll just run through. We had our networking event at Elijah's, where we are now going to be hosting our luncheons every month. So if you got a chance to check it out, great. If you didn't, we'll see you on the 17th. And then we had our end of year celebration, which also included the officer installation. It was great to see the judge, Vic in his robe, and then also Jay in his element as an attorney prosecuting the Kiwanis Club. It was awesome to see. And if you missed it, tune in next year, because I'm sure it'll be bigger and better with Karina's script writing and all of our hams in the club. Okay, last slide before we let you go. So if you don't have all these events in your calendar, now is a great opportunity. We have networking coming up next week at the Menenge Museum, which is in Balboa Park. So we just talked about the parks and the beautiful parks of San Diego. So go check it out. And then we have our in-person luncheon on the 17th. And we also have a couple of volunteer opportunities on there. And then there's a Key Club social in later this month at Morley Field. All of these events you can find on our website right there, KiwanisClubSanDiego.org/events. There's the QR code if you have your phone out. and you want to scan it and get right to the website. But with that, we are 2 minutes overdue. So great to see everyone for our first meeting of the year. And hopefully we see you all in 2 weeks at Elijah's to kick off the new year in person. They also serve beer and wine there. So if you are in the mood for an afternoon glass of something bubbly, you can grab that and enjoy the experience. Of course, the club doesn't condone it. It's on your own time. That's my disclaimer. But feel free to show up a little early or stay a little late at the luncheon on the 17th.